Leicester City, a team that are currently residing in the relegation zone of the Premier League and look a shadow of their miracle title-winning selves of 2016. Since that incredible achievement, despite clearly possessing a talented squad and some moments of optimism, they've been unable to truly disrupt the Premier League Big Six, and more recently, their financial investment has been limited compared to Premier League rivals. With just 11 points from their first 13 Premier League games this season, to me, they make for the perfect candidate for a rebuild. Let's see if we can go and win that Premier League again. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the very first FM23 rebuild on the channel then. For the new game, today's subject for the rebuild is going to be Leicester City. And if you've not watched one of these types of videos before, let me explain the premise of it slightly. I've done a save with Leicester and we start from the very start. And in today's video, you're going to see the entire process up until the point where I think the rebuild is complete. With Leicester, the ultimate aim is, can we win the Premier League? I'll give you a bit of a spoiler. There's going to be a live com at the end of today's episode. But do let me know what you think of a video like this one. Slightly longer ones with lots in there. We're going to go and try and do it basically as quickly as we can. Can we get the signings in through the door? Can we go and, change the team around and implement a tactic that's going to work to make Leicester really good in FM23? And I suppose another question to ask is, if you do enjoy this one, who do you want to see me go and rebuild next? Who is the next team that should be on that list? I've got a few ideas of my own, but I won't reveal them just yet because I want to see what your recommendations are, and maybe we'll go from a few of those. So get those down in the comments down below. And if you do like this type of video, please do make sure you like it and also subscribe to the channel for more. Let's get ourselves into it. But before we do that, a quick word about the sponsor of today's video. And that sponsor is once again OneFootball. A big shout out to the guys over at OneFootball, and thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. You guys, you can help me out as well by clicking the link to OneFootball in the description of today's video and downloading a brilliant football app completely for free. Once you've done that, you'll have yourself a lovely football app where you can go and get basically anything you could possibly want from, about football from an app. You can go and get those live scores. You've been dragged out around the weekend and you're in the shops or whatever it might be, but you still want to keep up with the football that's going on. You can do so using OneFootball. You get those live scores sent through to your phone. You can go and check the team news. You can go and check who got the goals and the assists. Great for FPL. You can go and there's videos and articles and all sorts. To be honest, I should stop explaining what's on the app. You guys should go and click that link in the description and download it for yourselves. I promise you won't regret it, and it's completely free. So thank you so much to OneFootball. Let's get ourselves back into this Leicester rebuild. So jumping into the save, Leicester at the start of FM23 have a board expectation to finish about 5th in the league, to become recognised as the best of the rest. That's quite tricky when you actually look into it. The supporters, they're a little bit more lenient. They'd be happy as long as you finish in the top half. But I had a look at the season preview to begin with and noticed that Leicester have a squad that, according to the media anyway, is good enough to finish about 8th or, in line with West Ham and Wolves on FM23. There's the projected lineup. So you've got these board expectations to finish 5th, but a squad that's maybe good enough to finish about 8th. Already, things get off to a pretty tricky start here, don't they? It gets a little bit more tricky when you go across to the squad as well. And notice that whilst there is a decent core of players here, you've got players like James Justin, Wilfred Ndidi. You've got, if you go a little bit further up the pitch, James Maddison. You've got Jamie Vardy still knocking about. There are definitely talented players in this squad. But perhaps at the start of FM23, this squad is notable for its absences. We don't have, at the back, Wesley Fofana, who was sold to Chelsea. We don't have, I would say, a recognised goalkeeper in here. We've got Danny Ward as maybe the first choice goalkeeper. And even in FM23, he starts off injured for a few weeks with damaged knee cartilage. That, for me, straight away jumped out as a position that we might need to go and strengthen in. However, do we have any money with the sale of Wesley Fofana to go and spend? What did he go for? £80 million? No, we've got 10 million to go and spend. So there's going to have to be a little bit of wheeling and dealing. There's also the small problem of contracts that are expiring too, perhaps most notably, and I think definitely most notably actually, Yuri Tielemans, whose contract is running out in the summer. He's wanted already in the save by Man City, Newcastle, Bayern, Atletico Madrid. He's very good in FM. He's very good in real life. I'm going to have to see if I can tie him down to a new contract, but he's actually not even the only one. You've got Jose Perez and Soyuncu, Nampalys Mendy, among others, who are also seeing their contracts expire. Johnny Evans, who I think is still a starter in this team. If you look at the transfers that got brought in the summer, Wout Faz, is that inspiring a lot of belief in the team? I'm not sure. Is Alex Smithies was brought in. I feel like I'm going to have to go and do some transfers. And that is where I started. And that meant selling players, because without proper investment, with just £10 million being given to us in terms of a transfer budget, I had to go and sell some players. And I've sold some players, lots of them. It seems a bit ruthless. I know that, right? But these are the players that have gone out. Johnny Evans, first of all, contract was running out. Iheanacho, not necessarily wanting to do this one, but money is money, and I think we can go and invest it in a better way than Kelechi Iheanacho. He's gone for £16 million. Mark Albrighton, £8 million for him. I thought I just couldn't really say no to that. Big one here. Youri Tielemans has been sold to Man City for £35 million. I explored the possibility of giving him a new contract. However, £30 million for a player who didn't really want to talk to me that much, or at least wanted a lot of money in terms of wages. £30 million, I couldn't really say no. He's gone to Manchester City, where I'm sure he's going to be great. We're going to see if we can invest that money or reinvest that money and see if we can get some replacements in. Nampalys Mendy has also gone £10 million. His contract was running out. I've tried to cash in on those players whose contracts were going to expire anyway. Daniel Amati, £15 million to Monaco. Dennis Pratt, £13 million to Southampton. Yannick Vestergaard, £5 million. Jose Perez, another one whose contract was running out, £11 million to Aston Villa. It's given us a lot of money there. In fact, it's given us this much money to go and spend £119 million, 120 million if we call it that. This gave me the ammunition to properly go and rebuild Leicester, and so I went into the transfer market again. And yeah, I was pretty busy. First through the door was a goalkeeper. Anatoly Trubin from Shakhtar was bought to replace the outgoing Kasper Schmeichel, to replace Danny Ward, who I just don't think is very good at being a goalkeeper. Anatoly Trubin, though, who is a Ukrainian goalkeeper, 21 years old, is a good goalkeeper. He's 6'6" as well, which of course I love. He is in. He's going to be our number one, only on 35,000 per week as well. I think this is a good deal. He's going to get better. He's a bit of an investment. Trubin is going to be our goalkeeper. And then I start to work my way through the team. Let's go and find a new left back, Federico Di Marco. I love a left back that can take set pieces. He's got 16 corners. He's got good free kick taking. He's got great crossing. I think he was brilliant in FM22. Di Marco is in from, well, he cost £18 million up front from Inter Milan, about 20 million in total. So far, about 50 million spent there on two definite upgrades to the squad. I will, of course, show you the full squad and the tactic and everything, how it's all going to fit together as we go through this first season. But let's continue to go through these signings, because there are a lot. I've spent £210 million now then, with £204 million going out. So we've kind of juggled and balanced the book slightly. By the way, actually, before I show you the other incomings, Soyuncu also did move on for £16 million to Aston Villa. I've been quite impressed by the money that I've managed to bring in for players, especially when we can go and reinvest it in the way that I've managed to do so. Next up was a bit of a bargain. I put him in my 5 best bargains, by the way, which is a video you can go and watch. Maybe there might be a card above here. Husam Awar for £8 million from Lyon. Pretty good midfielder. He's going to definitely at least be a squad player. But coming in, you could maybe even count him as a direct replacement for Youri Tielemans. He is that good, and he's pretty much of a level. And he only cost £8 million. So I think we've done all right there financially. Next up, another bargain of mine is Mukhtar Diakabi for £12.5 million. He's very me as a centre-back. Again, I mentioned him in that bargains video. 6'4" from Valencia, costing just 12 million. He's going to go straight into our defence. You could even call him a replacement for Soyuncu, for example. Maybe even Johnny Evans. I've tried to replace all of them. In fact, we'll jump ahead, because another defensive replacement, Gianluca Mancini from Roma. You can get him for just £22.5 million. He is an Italian international. He's so good for that type of money. Big wages. I will caveat things with the fact that he's on £145,000 per week, but that pairing already, Mancini alongside Diakabi, I think that's better than what Leicester had already. And for about the same money going in as going out, I think I've done all right in this window. It is a proper rebuild. I know it's maybe not realistic, because imagine Leicester just went and did this in the last week of the window. But if you're talking how quickly can we turn Leicester into a potential Premier League winning team, I think this is how you go and do it. We've also brought in Amadou Haidara from Leipzig, 24 years old. Very good. Very, very good from Leipzig. Look, he is a Malian midfielder on £100,000 per week, but can go and do everything. He could go and be your box-to-box, or your Metzala, or your ball winner, because he's got attributes all over the place. Only 24 as well, so we are still investing for the future slightly. Cody Gakpo, a player that I've signed in, I think, all of my saves so far this FM, because he looks really good. He's I really like the fact that he's got, of course, great physicals, but his technicals are really good. He doesn't really have any gaps in his game. Not for my liking anyway. As a winger or an attacking player, can play up front if you wanted him to, but would probably play as this winger. Big wages. I've probably overpaid on his wages in this save, but there has been an element of urgency, and also where Leicester were, it's been a bit of a tough task to convince them to join. Maybe money's the way to go and do that. He's on 200k a week. Ivan Toney is the next one. Big English striker. Big sign in this one. 6'2". I think he's going to be a bit of a beast in FM23. At least I hope so, because he's in now for £40 million from Brentford. We've talked about Mancini. DeAndre Nabelio, another player that I've signed in every save that I've done so far on FM23. 6'5" striker. So cheap, but so worth the money immediately. Look at his value straight away. £3.5 million he costs. We could loan him out. He's wanted on loan by a couple of teams. He's going to be an asset in this team, though. Replacing Iheanacho, for example, who we've already sold on. And then finally, a young English prospect is Ronnie Edwards, who we've brought in too. Probably going to be retrained to play in midfield, like we've done in the Newcastle save. If you're currently watching that save too, hope you guys are enjoying that one. If you're not, go and check it out. It's on the channel. We're doing a Newcastle save. It's really good. We're going to probably retrain him as a midfielder as well, Ronnie Edwards. Those are the signings in. It's actually match day here. We've had this as our pre-season. At this point here, Brentford was about to be played and the season was about to be underway. I think there's actually a couple of other things that were going on. But yeah, we're also trying to sign Facundo Farias, who we're waiting on a work permit. Very cheap for about, how much was it? £2.5 million, rising to 5 million. We also had Braybook coming in, and Everson might be going out for £1 million. So there are a couple of other things going through. But this was the situation at the start of season 1. Let me show you the tactic and how we're going to set this team up. And it looked like this. I think a complete rebuild of the squad already, and it's looking pretty strong, if I do say so myself. We're going to go with a 4-2-2-2 then for season number 1, and it looks a bit like this. Trubin in goal, Justin and DeMarco as the fullbacks. Justin could swap out for Castagna as well as a decent option at right back. Diakabi and Mancini, we talked about that when we brought them in, didn't we? We talked about how I think that's an upgrade on the defence already to really good central defenders. Ndidi and Maddison are going to play in midfield. They've both been there from the start, although we could also bring in Sumare or Awar and even Dewsbury Hall, who's not terrible in FM23, by the way. Does sound like a prom venue, Dewsbury Hall, but is not too bad as a footballer. Right wing, Harvey Barnes. Left wing, Cody Gakpo, cutting inside as that inside forward on attack. And then Vardy and Toney up front. The English strike force, which I think are going to score a hell of a lot of goals. At least that was the plan. Let me show you then how the first season went, playing with mainly this system and mainly these players. Let's see how close to the top of that Premier League we could get. And pretty close is exactly where we ended up being. We finished second. The first season then, after completely rebuilding that team. I know we bought a lot of players and sold a lot of players. I know there'll be people who are saying, well, it's not realistic. I know, right? I'm accepting it. So before you come at me with your keyboards, just know that we're going to do plenty of those realistic rebuilds, and I've done loads of those in the past too. This one there's an element of speed that I'm trying to capture here. We're going to go and see how quickly we can get ourselves to the very top, and we almost did it in season number 1. We were a point off in the end. Liverpool, who won the league. City had a really weird season. They lost 11 games. Arsenal were way off it. Look at some of where these teams are finishing. Chelsea in 10th, Spurs in 11th, Manchester United in 8th outside of Europe. We almost managed to make the most of it, but not quite. Liverpool were just too strong. We lost only 10 games, drew only 4. We won 24 of our 24 of our 38 games, I should say. 76 points. A fantastic season. Let me show you those results so you can run through and see how we got on, really. We started off with a 2-0 win against Brentford. We lost to Liverpool. Toney scoring goals, though. Lovely winning run through from West Ham all the way to Southampton here. Great wins in there. There was even wins like 5-0 against Crystal Palace, using this 4-2-2 for the most part. 5-3 against Spurs, 4-1 against Newcastle, who we know are quite good in FM23, quite good in real life actually, as you say that. Well, I mean, we should mention we beat Man City 4-3 here, lost to Wolves, lost to Everton around about January. During the winter schedule, we did lose our way slightly, winning, then losing, then winning, then losing, as you see here from these results, but sort of regained it towards the end of the season, enough anyway to go close. But ultimately we did not win the Premier League, so the rebuild will have to continue from here. We beat Manchester United in the FA Cup final as well, though, to win a nice bit of silverware there. Carabao Cup you're probably going to want to know about as well. We lost in the quarterfinals to Manchester City in that one. Guess who scored for City? Yeah, Erling Haaland scored twice in that one. He was quite good. In fact, was he the top goal scorer this season? I think he was, right? Yeah, he got 40 goals. Finished third, but got 40 goals. Jamie Vardy, you will have seen then on this list, because I'm going to show you these player stats and how the tactic is looking. 29 goals from Jamie Vardy. 7.51. There is life in the old dog yet. 36 years old and still scoring at that rate. Outscoring Ivan Toney, who we brought in. He is a god. He's still a god. Here is then how the tactic has developed. It's pretty much the same. A few different instructions on there. Some of the players are different too, because as you will notice probably straight away, is the fact that Saul now plays for us. We brought him in the January window for £25 million. Didn't have a great spell at Chelsea in real life, did he? But he's still brilliant in FM. 25 million came in to take the place of Ndidi mainly as the box-to-box. There were some transfers. I'll show you those actually before we move on. If I sort these by the date, these players were brought in from Farias, who you didn't quite see come in. Farias up to Rick Karsdorp, who is the right back who came in too. Karsdorp, Saul, Stanisic on loan, Gelson Martins from Monaco, 5 million from Romero from Independiente. Bit of a bargain as well, him, if you wanted to check him out. 19 years old striker. Only 5'8", not quite me, but you know, still pretty good. Farias, who I talked about being a bargain or a hidden gem. I can't remember which one, but again, very, very good. Him for £5 million. We sold some players in January too. Indeed, we talked about replacing him. £60 million was why we needed to replace him. He went to Manchester United for massive money, meaning we could go and spend. We ended up, look, over the course of the season and how much we've improved. We turned a profit and came really close to winning the league. Not bad, is it? We also sold Ricardo Pereira for just about £20 million. Sumare for £12 million in the January window as well. Players are leaving and being replaced. The squad is looking like this. Have a look at some of these player stats though. 33 goals from Jamie Vardy, 25 goals from Ivan Toney, 14 from Gakpo from the left-hand side. Lots of appearances from some of the players on the bench too. Awar played 18 or made 18 starts. 19 starts for Stanisic as well, mainly from right back, rotating with James Justin. I think maybe a right back is another place we might want to bring somebody in, but Rick Karsdorp has more recently come in and he looks pretty good too. Of course though, we didn't win the league first season, and that means the rebuild needs to continue. We need to go through to season number 2. And you've guessed it, I'm going to make some more signings. And didn't I make some signings? Those signings being £204 million worth of this list right here. We are now up to 2023, 19th of August. It's the first game day of season number 2. But I want to show you all the players I brought in before showing you how this second season has gone or is going, which is another clue of how we're going to hopefully end this video. I've spent £204 million. Martin Neto was joining or did join on a free. He's available at the end of season number 1 in your saves, by the way. Go and check him out, because just the fact that he's on a free and he looks this good, it's worth picking him up, even if you want to just make him a squad option or maybe sell him on for a profit. Looks pretty good. He's only 20 years old as well. He was the first signing through the door, and then some big boys joined. It was £60 million on Tammy Abraham. This English strike force has just been boosted by another absolute mammoth of a striker. Tammy Abraham, 6'5", of pure English striker right there, with all the pace and the finishing and all the determination and work rate and all that stuff that you could possibly need from a striker. He's going to score us some goals this year. I just know it because he's so good in FM. He's pretty good in real life as well, isn't he? And then, almost to load those bullets, to fire in those crosses, James Ward-Prowse has also joined the club. We've gone very English and homegrown, actually, with this squad, which I quite like. He has joined for £50 million, rising to £55 million. And Hamza Chowdhury has gone to Southampton as well. But look at him in FM23. He was so good in FM22. He was so good in FM21 even. He's still really good in FM, is James Ward-Prowse. Even at season 2 here, 20 natural fitness, the work rate, the teamwork. But of course, it's this 20 free kick taking, 19 corners. He's going to be getting us a load of assists this season. And then a few more slightly smaller signings, but one big one before we get into them. Evan Ndicka from Frankfurt might be one of my favourite centre-backs that I found in FM23. Again, was good in previous FMs, but have a look at him this year. I think he's gone up a level. He's on massive money because he's so good, but only 23 years old. Look at the jumping reach at 6'4". Just think of those James Ward-Prowse corners and free kicks being swung into the box. I mean, Evan Ndicka is going to get on the end of them. And then there's a few more too. Marcus Edwards from Sporting. I think this was £15 million, £25 million, sorry, from Sporting. Another homegrown Englishman to bring in. Really like him too, Marcus Edwards. Irving Lozano for 17.5. Feel like this one's a bit of a bargain. How old is he at this stage now? He is just 28, so he's got a few years left. Pacing winger. He's going to provide a bit of competition for Harvey Barnes on the right-hand side. Could also play on the left, cutting in. Him and Gakpo can rotate a little bit. And then a fan favourite, a personal favourite of mine, Alex Telles, also joined the club for £4 million. He can take set pieces from left back. Stanisic, we made his loan move permanent. Been really good, actually. Played a lot of games last year on loan from Bayern. 21 times he played. Look, this time, £2 million to make it permanent. And then I've shown you Martin Neto as well. That does mean, of course, though, that I had to sell some players on. The big ones this summer moving on were Kian and Dewsbury Hall, the prom venue himself. £23 million to Roma. We'll take that type of money. Husam Awar has gone to Shakhtar for £13 million. We made a profit on him. Not sure how, really. I mean, he's quite good. I guess that is how, isn't it? Didn't play as many games as maybe I would have expected him to. Gelson Martins, who only joined in January, moved on for £4 million. Danny Ward has finally gone. George Hurst, and then a few other players for frees or loans, which is not quite as important. Facundo Farias we loaned out for a decent fee, actually, to Bournemouth too. These were the transfers. This is how the squad looks then going into season number 2. We've kept with the same system, really. The 4-2-2-2. Trubin in goal, Justin at right back, DiMarco. That's the same Mancini. And now Ndicka as our centre-backs. That does mean that Diakabi's dropped down to the bench. But, I mean, look at that for centre-back options. Look at this for a squad, really. Ward-Prowse and Saul are going to be our centre midfielders. Maddison can play wide, but can also come into the middle if we need him to, with players like Lozano's dropping into the wide positions if we want him to. Edwards as well. It's not bad, is it, having those options for season 2? I think already this is a Premier League winning squad if we get a bit of luck, and I'm hoping that we're going to get that bit of luck at the end of today's episode. I'm trying not to spoil it. Gakpo from the left again, Tammy Abraham and Ivan Toney as the strikers. Although, I mean, Jamie Vardy, he's still really good. He's now 36, about to turn 37. So is he slightly running out of legs? I'm not sure he is. He scored so many goals last year. This was the team going into season number 2. Let me show you how it's gone. I'm saying gone because, well, there's a game to go. I'll see you in May. The 19th of May to be precise, and that is because there's one game to go in season 2, and if we win it, maybe even if we draw it, we are going to be Premier League champions. We're almost there. This is what I was talking about. This is what I was trying not to spoil for the last bit of the video, basically. We are now on 37 games played, 1 point ahead of Liverpool. We've got 89 points on the board. They've got 88. Our final game is against Manchester United. If we can beat them, we're Premier League champions with this team that we've built over 2 seasons now. If we lose and Liverpool beat Wolves, then we will actually fail massively. And I don't know whether the rebuild is even complete. I feel like I'm going to have to leave it here because I've built this whole video towards this point here. But the pressure is on. We're going to go and play Manchester United today, and we're going to go and see if we can win the Premier League title and complete this Leicester rebuild. Before we do that, let me show you how the season's gone. I mean, as you'd expect, it's been very good. We've got 89 points. It's a very solid season. It's very Liverpool to have got 88 points and then not actually won the league. But we've just, hopefully, we're just about to pit them to the post. We won the Community Shield to start things off. I mean, this sums it up, really. We won 5-4 at Wembley, look, against Liverpool. Tammy Abraham scored twice, and Ndicka scored, Cody Gakpo scored twice. And then from there, look at the results. We did lose to Manchester United in the return fixture, or the first fixture of the season. So is this worrying going into the final game? It might be a little bit worrying. You can see some of the scorers too. Lots of great results. We beat Manchester City 5-1. I mean, we should probably pause upon that one. I know they had red cards. Kimmich got sent off on 18 minutes, but some result that, isn't it? Some team we've built here. We do lose some games. We lost to Chelsea. We lost to Arsenal again. Quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. We still haven't won that. We are, by the way, if I scroll down and show you the rest of these results, we are also in the FA Cup final. Champions League, we got to the... Oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing there. Champions League, we did manage to get to the semi-final, but we lost to Liverpool. Jota got a hat-trick, and then we lost 3-0 to Liverpool in the semi-final there. I mean, imagine we got to the Champions League final in this second season. That was a step too far, but with this team here and this 4-2-2-2 that's now been adapted to have a Secundo Volante, which I feel like is going to be popular with absolutely everyone. With this 4-2-2-2, we're going to go into the final game with Man United and see if we can win this Premier League title. I'm just going to pick this team and I'll be right back. Okay, so the lineup looks like this. We're going to have Trubin in goal, Justin and DiMarco as fullbacks, and Ndicka and Mancini. That defence is pretty much the same as I've explained earlier. Saul as the Segundo Volante with Ward-Prowse ahead of him. Maddison from the right, Gakpo from the left, as you would have expected. Tammy Abraham is going to partner Bellio up front, and this one maybe is a slightly contentious call. However, look at the start he's made now. 15 goals in his first 19 games for the club, or well, maybe not his first ones, but 15 and 19 for this season anyway. pretty good. Although he's kept out Ivan Toney with 24 and 22 and Jamie Vardy with 23 and 30. All of our strikers score goals. However, I'm going to go with Bellio and Abraham for this very important last game against Manchester United. The bench is there, look. If you want to pause it and have a look at some of these stats that people have got. Tammy Abraham, 32 goals, for example. James Ward-Prowse, you probably want to know how many assists. He's got himself 14 in the league, 19 all competitions. I thought you might want to see that one. Oh, also, you might have noticed too, I have signed a couple of extra players. Harry Maguire now plays for the club. This one won't be popular, but he was only £7.5 million and I thought he'd be an asset. So he's been brought in. He is suspended for this one. And also Andre, brought in January. Pretty good, isn't he? 22 years old, Brazilian, £13 million. He's been pretty impressive. Might well have started this game. However, he's going to be injured for this one. He has hurt his knee ligaments, and Luke Thomas is also injured. He played a fair few games too. The young left back there. I know a lot of Leicester fans will probably be asking about him too. It's a completely transformed Leicester team, but I'm hoping a Leicester team that is going to go and win another Premier League title. Let's get ourselves into this game. Am I a little bit worried that we're going to lose this game? Yes, a little bit. However, we are a really strong squad, a really good team. There's the Manchester United one, by the way. Now managed by Sergio Conceição. They've got a strong team, though. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Van der Beek, Wilfred Ndidi, our former player, of course, in there. I think that's a team we can go and beat. Cristiano Ronaldo is still at the club. He's on the bench for them, though. Let's get ourselves into that dressing room and onto this pitch. There's our form. Not the best, but it's hopefully going to be enough. There's Bellio up front. Look, I'm hoping he can do a bit today. We're underway. First 3 or so minutes, very, very low key. We've had the first shot of the game, though. We've actually gone second in the league. Does that mean we need to actually get it up on here? Let's stop looking at our own team. Latest scores. We need to keep an eye on Liverpool versus Wolves. They've scored already. It means we've dropped to second. Mo Salah with a 4th minute goal. Pressure is well and truly on here. A draw is not going to be... It's 2-0 already. Wesley Fofana, of all people, has scored for Liverpool. He must have moved from Chelsea to Liverpool in this save, unless it's a different Fofana. Might be Datro, actually. That's the softest penalty I've ever seen. Cody Gakpo's just conceded a pen. We've got it all to do. Liverpool are 2-0 up. And Diogo Dalot has just won a penalty for Manchester United. Is he going to give... It's been given. I think Gakpo might even get booked here, which seems very harsh. It was very soft, but we might be falling behind, and we're going to need to score twice if Bruno dispatches this, which he does. Trubin has gone the wrong way. We're behind. It's his 23rd of the season. We're behind, and Liverpool are definitely winning. We've got a lot to do. It was Datro Fofana, by the way. Really good in FM, this guy here. This is not how it's supposed to go. Rashford's on the attack now. Give that one away. Yes. Bellio wins it back, and we've given it straight to Dalot. Gakpo's got it, though. There's a runner here in Tammy Abraham. He needs a bit of support, perhaps. Could win a penalty. Could get a cross in. Could get it back to James Maddison. There's Bellio. Lovely goal. I don't know if that was a shot or a cross from Maddison, but Bellio heads it in. The decision to start him so far is being repaid. 1-1. Relax, everybody. I'm relaxed. I'm fine. I wasn't worried when we were losing. It's actually a very quick and very good response from us, isn't it? Tammy Abraham back to Maddison. I think it is a cross, you know. It's a lovely move. An easy finish in the end for Bellio, but great movement to set it up. 1-1. Back to square one. Liverpool are 3-0 up. Datro Fofana scored again. If we can nick this ball from United and get ourselves on the attack again here, which we're going to do. Trubin quite dramatic with the dive there, but still, he's got us the ball back. Can we immediately turn this one? He's booted it forward. We do have big, tall strikers. Didn't win the header, but we've picked up the second ball. Saul. DeMarco. Gakpo. He's got some making up to do, hasn't he, Gakpo, after giving away that penalty. DeMarco down the left. Here is Gakpo. Can he find the assist? He goes down. Ref? You gave... No? You gave one very soft penalty, but not for us. Fair enough. I mean, that was the right decision, but I thought after the one that he gave for United, we might get it. Obviously not. Here come United up the other end themselves. Rashford into Malacia. I'm worried. I'm scared. Maddison's gone back with him. Can't get there. That's going to be another... It's gone in. It's Rashford. I was going to say it's going to be another penalty, but Rashford's actually just finished it. We're behind again. I thought... Do you know I said I'm not panicking? I am panicking. It's a well-worked goal. Malacia into Hudson-Odoi. The tackle breaks to Rashford. Trubin, could he have done better? I think he probably could have done. It's 4-1 in the Liverpool game now. I think that's a hat-trick for Fofana. I mean, I need to stop and click on him. Look how good this guy becomes in FM, by the way, if you've not already signed him in your saves. 21 years old. Very good. I mean, I've clicked. There you go. There's a scouting tip for you if you've not seen him yet this year in this year's game. Here's Bellio. Wins the header. But De Gea is going to run off the pitch. No, he's still on the pitch. 40 minutes gone. And I'm stressing that we might be about to blow the league title. And I mean, what do we do? A part 2? If we lose this one and try and win it in season number 3, do we just give up? Do we fail the rebuild? Or do we stop thinking like that and think, actually, we're still going to win this game against United? It's going to be fine. Mancini's got the ball. We're going to be level going in at half-time. We'll have a big second half, and it's going to be fine. Indeed, he's won the ball back for United. He's given it to Hudson-Odoi. If it goes 3-1, then I will be panicking. I will be scared. Here's Hudson-Odoi. There's Rashford. It's cleared. Okay. It's not quite that goal before half-time that we wanted, but it's not the end of the world yet. I mean, are we praying at this stage for a massive comeback from Wolves from 4-1 down? I don't think it's going to happen, but that would also help us out, wouldn't it? Is it still 4-1? It is still 4-1. Do I make any changes at half-time here? I don't know if I want to. I want to believe in the lads, but we've not been good. Only a 0.93 XG. United have been... I mean, they've not had a lot. Ward-Prowse free kick would be helpful. He's gone for a cross. Tammy Abraham, that is a beauty. I don't know why they didn't mark him. But Tammy Abraham's at the back post to make it 2-2. And it's back on. We just need one more. Ward-Prowse with the assist. Tammy Abraham with the finish. They just don't mark him. Look at this space they've left him in. The volley, I mean, there's a lot to do from there. But he kind of scissor kicks it. And it's 2-2. Okay. Okay, we're back in it. And we've got a highlight. 55 minutes on the clock. Do you know what? We were never going to do it the easy way. It was never going to be 2-0, was it? It's now 2-2 though. Gakpo. We've got subs on the bench if we want to use them. Varane clears it. DeMarco should pick that up. He does. Ball over the top. I think Belly was definitely offside there. It's not actually the end of the highlight though. De Gea boots it forwards. Okay, good header, but Sancho's picked it up. Are we actually going to go behind again for a third time in this game? I really hope not. We shouldn't from there. We've got the ball back. There's a lot of this in this year's game, isn't there? Back and forth. You don't always know who the highlight is going to go to as much as you did in previous years. Here's us on the attack. Gakpo with support. What a ball that is. Oh my word, what a save. Was he onside? He was offside, but either way, I don't think De Gea knew that, and what a save it ended up being. Half an hour to play. Highlight starting with a corner from Ward-Prowse. We've got very big, tall, beefy men in there. Bellio's one of them. He went up for it. Ward-Prowse is going to get the ball back. We've got Ndicka in there. We've got others. Ward-Prowse just goes alone. It bounces around. We don't get caught on the break here. Sancho. Someone's going to have to get a foot in. I think Rashford's offside. He looked off, but he's through on goal. Good save from Trubin. Ref? Linesman? I think he was on. They've given a corner. He looked offside, but evidently it would have counted had that have gone in and United have a corner, which I'm hoping we can deal with at the back post. We sort of do with the keeper making the save there. Half an hour to play. I think it's time to make subs. Let's see who's knackered, which is mainly Cody Gakpo, which means we're going to do... I'm going to do Irving Lozano coming on for him on this left-hand side. And Justin struggling maybe, but he's having a good game. Bellio did score, but is looking quite tired. We do have... Do you know what? It's going to be Ivan Toney off the bench. Bellio was playing well, but I think when we've got firepower like Ivan Toney on the bench, I think we should use him. I'm going to encourage them. Still about half an hour to play. Oh, okay, I thought we'd nicked it. We have now nicked it. Here's James Justin. I mean, Toney off the bench. Get yourself forward, lad. What are you doing? What are they doing over there? Again, weird highlights, but we've got the ball back again. This is stressful. That's a lovely ball out by Trubin. We're going to build from the back with Saul. To Irving Lozano just off the bench. Through to Ivan Toney, the other substitute. Toney finishes. The two subs combine. And it's 3-2 and we lead. And now it's Operation Shut the Doors. Don't let United back in. At this stage, for the first time, basically since the 4th minute, we're back on top of the Premier League. Lozano's ball off the bench for Toney. Look at this finish right in the corner. It's lovely. It's 3-2. And suddenly, let's see that league table again, shall we? We're going to be the team that's at the top of it. I'd like it if the highlights just stopped there, though. If the game could end there, that would be great. Here's United, they're trying to ruin that. I thought Toney was going to get sent off there. Ball for Bruno Fernandes. Headed back. Lovely stuff from DeMarco. I do maybe want to tell them to start wasting time, but is it too early for that? It probably is, isn't it? Trubin forward. Tammy Abraham, great flick on. Irving Lozano, he's got that 1 assist. To the byline. Into DeMarco. Into Saul. Into Ward-Prowse. Into the back of the net. That's 4-2. And we have turned it around. Twice we were behind. Now we lead. And we're looking like Premier League champions. Not great from De Gea. Great finish, though, from Ward-Prowse nonetheless. Look at the football. It's really nice. We just pass it around the edge here with these guys here just creating a bit of an overload. Saul into Ward-Prowse. Spins on it. Yeah, it's not. I said good finish. That's just really poor from De Gea. 4-2, though. Batten down the hatches. Let's see this one. Still highlights are starting. This game is mental. We're on key highlights, I should say. Liverpool are 5-1 up. I mean, there is no room for error. We can't afford to let United back into this. I even want a 5th ourselves. Rashford. Good save from Trubin. Do you know what? I'm actually going to say it now. I'm going to start time wasting from the 67th minute. That's early, isn't it? But I want these highlights to stop. Sometimes we have live comms and they go by in the blink of an eye and they're like 1 minute long. This one is like 10 minutes long already and we're only in the 68th minute. It's crazy how these things are different when I've got it on the same settings. Here's Irving Lozano. It's 5. Okay, I think we can start to celebrate. I think we can start to relax. We have turned it around. Lozano off the bench, by the way. What an introduction that has been. The finish is good. Tammy spins on it here, gives it to Saul. Saul slots it through, threads it through. And Lozano, the finish is composed. Left-footed into that far corner. 5-2 with 20 to play now. We're on time wasting. I'm just going to sit back and relax and watch it, I think. Well, I'm pretty sure at this stage. Let's have a look at it. We should be on the march. Okay, there's a highlight starting, so I still can't see that league table. Headed away. Are we on the break here? We should be. Well, Prowse just volleys it straight to Diogo Dalot, though. I mean, if they score, am I getting scared? Potentially. Here's Everton for Manchester United. Massive ball out wide. We'll see how Dalot does with this one. Everton at the far post. Good football. Leave rubbish, though, lads. Leave rubbish. Let me see that league table. Please. Still can't. Well, Prowse, Mancini. We almost had another one. He's hit the bar. It's cleared. Can I finally click on it? There we go. With 92 points, we're going to go and win ourselves the Premier League title. We're going to go and complete our Leicester rebuild. We're champions inside 2 seasons as well from the start. You can see what's possible if you sign the right players. You can go and do a bit of a rebuild of a club. Tammy Abraham's going to make it 6. No, he's not because what's happening here? Right. Just Football Manager 2023, everybody. But we're Premier League champions. We've won the Premier League in 2 seasons. I don't even know who the captain is. Is it James Ward-Prowse? No, it's James Maddison. Is going to lift the Premier League trophy. And the rebuild is complete. As always, you need to let me know who do you want to see in the next video like this one. You need to let me know if you enjoyed it by liking today's video. Leave me those comments. But most importantly, subscribe to the channel because we're going to have so many more videos like this. I want to do lots of one-off save videos where it won't necessarily be a rebuild, but it might be a challenge that we go and try and do where we have the entire save in one video because I think you guys like these longer videos. I like making them. I think they're pretty good. Let me know what you think in those comments down below. Thank you for watching today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.